April 2003. The world watched as the United States and its allies launched a full-scale invasion of Iraq. This is the story of one of the most crucial battles of the Iraq War, the battle for Baghdad. Join us at Legacy of War as we take a deeper look. Before we start the video, don't forget to check out our selection of playlists. We cover other wars like Vietnam, the World Wars, as well as Viking and Roman times. We will also be adding to our collection soon. Make sure you like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Now relax and enjoy the video. That's in order. Before the invasion, Baghdad was the stronghold of Saddam Hussein's regime, a city of strategic importance and the symbol of his power. The coalition's plan was clear: capture Baghdad quickly to dismantle Hussein's government and bring an end to his rule. The task, however, was anything but simple. On March 20th, 2003, Operation Iraqi Freedom began. The coalition forces, led by the United States, advanced rapidly from the south, facing sporadic resistance as they moved closer to Baghdad. The advance on Baghdad was marked by several key engagements, but the decisive moment came as coalition forces approached the city's outskirts in early April. On the morning of April 3, 2003, U.S. forces advanced on Saddam International Airport. This location turned out to be the best defended Iraqi position of the entire war, and 2 U.S. soldiers were killed by mortar fire early in the fighting. After several hours of combat, the 1st Brigade, 3rd Infantry Division succeeded in taking control of Baghdad International Airport, which would become the hub of American logistics in Iraq for the next 7 years. Before sunrise on April 4th, the Americans were subjected to a fierce counterattack by Iraqi troops. Under the cover of darkness, a number of T-72 tanks managed to get within several hundred meters of their position. A fire team with a Javelin ATGM destroyed 2 of the Iraqi tanks, while the rest were destroyed by a passing M1 Abrams. As dawn approached, the attack intensified, and Iraqi infantry flooded into the position on foot. The fighting resulted in numerous casualties, but they held on successfully. By April 5th, coalition forces reached the outskirts of Baghdad. What followed was intense urban combat, with American forces encountering fierce resistance from Iraqi soldiers and paramilitary units known as the Fedayeen. The turning point came with the Thunder Runs, armored assaults conducted by the 3rd Infantry Division. On April 5th and April 7th, U.S. forces executed high-speed raids into the heart of Baghdad, designed to shock and awe the defenders. It was a bold move, where troops drove straight through the city, facing constant fire, but it demonstrated the ability to reach any point in Baghdad, breaking the will of the Iraqi forces. The unit was forced to abandon 1 tank due to a recoilless rifle or RPG strike in the rear that penetrated a fuel cell and set the engine on fire. The crew were unharmed, and it was later destroyed during an airstrike. The 2nd Brigade easily took control of what is now the Green Zone in 1 day, dramatically speeding up the end of conventional ground combat in Iraq. On April 7, 2003, intense fighting took place at 3 locations known as Objectives Mo, Larry, and Curly. Successfully holding these highway interchanges was essential to keep Highway 8 open, thus allowing U.S. forces to remain in the city center following the 2nd Thunder Run. The coalition forces used a combination of tactics: precision airstrikes to target key installations, psychological operations to undermine Iraqi morale, and swift, decisive ground maneuvers. The Thunder Runs were particularly effective, creating chaos and confusion among the defenders. Fighting was intense and costly. Estimates suggest that around 2,000 Iraqi soldiers were killed, and numerous civilians also lost their lives. The coalition forces suffered approximately 34 fatalities and over 400 wounded during the battle. On April 9, 2003, the symbolic end of the battle, in Hussein's regime, was broadcast around the world as U.S. Marines helped Iraqi civilians topple the statue of Saddam Hussein in Firdos Square. Baghdad suffered serious damage to its civilian infrastructure, economy, and cultural inheritance from the battle and following unrest. including looting and arson. During the invasion, the Al Yarmouk Hospital in South Baghdad saw a steady rate of about 100 new patients an hour. Despite the initial euphoria, the fall of Baghdad marked the beginning of a new and chaotic chapter. Looting and lawlessness erupted, and the coalition forces faced the enormous challenge of stabilizing and rebuilding a city and a country torn by war. The fall of Baghdad brought hope for some, but also great uncertainty and hardship. The years that followed were difficult for everyone. The battle for Baghdad was a pivotal moment in the Iraq War, showcasing the might of the coalition forces, but also highlighting the complexities of war and the challenges of rebuilding a nation. Today, Baghdad continues to recover and rebuild. The battle for this city will forever be a significant chapter in the history of the Iraq War, a reminder of the costs of conflict and the resilience of its people. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Check back in again soon. Salute.